Hello everyone, and I've improved the farm on my last revision. I found that every so often the water would stay on, and it had to do with just timing on pistons. If you use keep alives, the pistons don't always fire correctly, so you would only get one tick and you wouldn't have any water coming out. So I modified the system to use minimal pistons. Now these are sticky pistons. There's only two. Everything else is done with torches and redstone. So we still have the same two circuits. I'll walk you through how to put this together in a little bit here. So we still have the circuit that comes from the bottom and triggers. This one goes to the bottom. It goes across and triggers the other side. The bottom comes. This side is triggered by the top, so the circuit comes down from the top, triggers that, which flickers this torch, thus triggering the observer twice real quickly, which then fires your water. So let's just do this and watch it in action. So our town person wakes up. We just gotta wait for him to move around. There he goes. So he's picking stuff, picking stuff. Now, the other thing you'll notice on this farm is that I enlarged the area where he can plant. I increased it by a block in width this way. I figured he didn't need that large of. He never drained the reservoir completely of plants, so there was no need to. I figured maybe I could get him to plant a few more potatoes. So as you can see, as he keeps moving side to side, triggers the water, which washes the water into these hoppers here, which then goes into this container. I've been running this since this morning, about 9 o'clock. And what I get, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 27, 28, 29, almost 30 stacks of potatoes since 9 o'clock this morning. It's 4:13 now, so we're talking 7 hours. As you can see, he's planning, walks to the other side. And the plants will wash in, so forth. So, to show you how to build this, because this isn't exactly the easiest build, I took some time to set some things up at another location. So, what we're looking at here is the underneath. This is what's underneath the ground that you don't see once the ground layer is on. This is the underground rail that powers the flip side. This is just because you wouldn't be able to see it once I put the ground on easily. These are just blocks that I use to put redstone on. I use marble whenever I'm doing redstone, so if you see marble, most likely there's some sort of redstone on it. So the other thing I did is I alternated the colors on the blocks. So if you're trying to replicate this, you can count blocks and see what I did. So if we go over to here, this is the system without any of the fluff. So the way it works is we go through and we trip this pressure plate, turns the water on. If we were to trip this pressure plate, turns that water on. So from this pressure plate, we go down a block and 2 redstone, so a redstone here, redstone here. All right, so the easiest way to start this is go so first find a chunk and just go to slime chunk finder Google that on Google, and there's a app they have that'll be able to tell you where the chunk lines are. You need the farm to sit within a chunk. Um, Otherwise, things can kind of go sideways. So once you have the chunk laid out, um, I just marbled it so that I could see where I was going, make it a little bit easier for reference. Go two in from the side, and then lay a line of block all the way across, except two from the other side. And this is a rectangle, so if you go straight down, straight back, and up, that is the quote farming area. Then if you come in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, blow out these two blocks on either side, because that's for redstone path. So you come off, the redstone goes to a slime piston with a block on top, to a repeater set to 4 ticks, to a block, to a to a to a torch. Down here is a block with redstone on it. Then you have a torch. Then we have redstone. This is a tick lengthener, because the tick coming in is only, the pulse coming in is only 1 tick long. We want to extend it to 4 ticks so that it'll time the dispenser long enough for it to dispense enough water to wash all the potatoes into the hoppers. So we run it to this, comes out, run it to a repeater, to this block. On the other side of this block we have a torch. Then you have a block with a torch on this side, so we have a torch here, a torch here. Then it goes to this observer, redstone to here. We go up, and this is where you put your dispensers full of water. So we would just say boom, 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 put water in them, and they will all fire when you trigger the pressure plate. For the other side, when coming off of this pressure plate here to redstone corner here, this is a, you can't see it, but it is, there's a piston there. So oops, wrong way. There is a piston there which runs to this repeater, which pushes to this block. This redstone stack up here to the roof rail, which we run the redstone across. Once again, we lengthen the tick. This should be at 4 ticks. We come across. This is going to come down to a torch with redstone on a block below. Then a torch, redstone, torch, observer. He's facing into at this torch, redstone up here once again to our dispensers, which we would have, oops, here. So we trigger that, he triggers the water over there, we trigger this, and he triggers the water over there. That's the basics for the redstone, and if we look down here we can see it's what I showed you earlier. Everything else is pretty much fluff. You do want to use glass here when you're building out. Okay, so I always like using glass when I'm building this out. But when you're building out over this redstone, because you have to enclose this to keep the water from going anywheres. So we just close that, and we close this up. As you build this, you'll occasionally tap the or trigger sensors, I just put a button there and that turns the water off. Where's our glass? So we close the glass there, then we go here. And that just keeps the town person out of that water. Now we want to build up a little bit. Now here we want to put our bed. So let's go ahead and grab a bed. And our composter. And okay, so we need to till this land. While we're here and we're not doing anything, let's get some potatoes. Well, let's do carrots. I haven't done carrots yet. We'll do carrots. Yummy. So we have our prop plant in. Now we need to get some more glass. Oops. Alright, so once our glass is in, you can see we have, these are our two chambers. That's the open area. Then you just want to cover it all with glass to keep them from jumping. And well, let's go ahead and do it real quick. Hold on here. Oh, over the bed, make sure you clear the glass like so. Otherwise, he'll suffocate, or she'll suffocate. As in the town person, yes. So we come here. Let's spawn a town person. We get lucky? Apparently not. Yes, I know this is villager abuse. I guess I should have caught the guy ahead of time. There we go. So we have our villager. So now we can go ahead and... He's not a fisherman, is he? Nope, he's a farmer. Okay. So we go ahead and finish closing in our farm. Alright, and that's the farm. And if we change our settings from always day, turn that off. I'll have to do that later. And you will see him start to farm the field. If you have any questions on any of the details, feel free to message me in the comments. And I hope you enjoy it. Like I said, the farm produces pretty good. Um, Once you get into the pattern, it's not hard to repeat. It takes a little bit though. Um, have a great evening, and this is Chapel Keep signing out.